The day started miserable, but now the sun is coming out. I thought it will stay dark all day, but yeah, I think this part of the video is kind of looking better. Yeah. Everything was fine. Now that I have adjusted the lighting, the clouds are showing up. Can you believe this? This is okay. Earrings in place, hair in place, the bangs. Yes, my hair is up in a bun. Let's get in. So, I've been mentioning the max hydration method a lot. I've been mentioning that I'm doing a modified version of the max hydration. And this is how I basically came to do my wash and goes. This is how I learned to define and style my hair. Dig in so that you really understand where I am coming from, because I'm not coming from hairstylists or black hairstylists. No, I did learn things myself the classic way the internet showed me. Yes, the lighting is a pain, but maybe I will just, put in some pictures and videos so that it will work out better, because I don't want to do a voiceover. It will be too much work to edit, and I want to push out more videos every week. I'm trying my best. So it's been a long time since I did another video. Sorry for that, but a lot is going on and life is life first before social media, right? Today we are gonna talk about the styling as the last step, how I usually define my hair. I know today you see something different. I did twists, no perfect partings, but this is what I have in my hair. I'm loving it, and I really like that, I see some length when I stretch the twists out. I did it on damp hair, not soaking wet hair. Used my own kind of leave-in butter. I also use it as a body cream, so I'm doing things my own, and I can't wait to share some of my favorite recipes I'm trying to figure out. As you all know, I didn't do the 30-day detox. I don't follow Black Girls Curls methods, though it's, I think, the most popular wash and go method right now. I don't do this. How do I do my hair? I do it the way I came across it since my second big chop, and it was the maximum hydration method. As the years went by, I'm kind of doing the modified version. But before we go in, because I want to show you a lot, let's look at the basics. Today, we are going to do a bit of research, of course, and here we go. So everything is here. I'm going to type it in, and maybe I will put it on the screen what I'm looking at. What is the max or the maximum hydration method? I'm reading things directly from the source. In other parts of the video, I will be mentioning naturallycurly.com, and I will also mentioning and reading things up from Miss DK, a Swedish lifestyle blogger and influencer. So it's a 5-step regimen that systematically increases moisture levels in hair until max hydration is reached. This is the same concept as the curly girl method. This is why I keep on saying and telling you that the maximum hydration method is basically just a modified version of the curly girl method. However, it is the most ideal regimen for low porosity hair, type 4 hair, and for C hair, as these hair types have the most difficulty absorbing moisture, and curly girl techniques alone do not account for the hair types' need for clarification and use of cuticle opening techniques. Make modifications as you feel your hair needs. Try to use your own intuition when it comes to your hair as well. For example, some people might need more protein, etc. This is the kind of method I like. It says tweak it to your own. It doesn't stick to, very two rules that are written in stone, are pushed in stone, and you cannot do anything because you can see the stone there and these are the rules. No, this is not how it works. Tweak it to your own. Some things will work for your hair, some things will not work for your hair. Once max hydration is reached, many of the issues that affect type 4 hair in terms of moisture, styling, knots, and length retention don't occur. Lastly, max hydration allows the most tightly coiled 4C hair to curl from root to tip with no products. I haven't reached max hydration yet, so my entire hair strands, they don't curl up. And maybe it's just the way it is that, I don't know, that 2/3 of my hair will kind of clump with no product, and the rest that is spread around my entire scalp will just stay coily frizzy. Who knows? We are here to find out. Before we move into the actual regimen, which consists of a pre-step and then a 5-step regimen. This is what you do. Clarify your hair. You wash your hair and detangle your hair. You follow up with a clay wash. You use a leave-in detangler, and then you style your hair with gel. If you count right, it's basically a 4-step. You cleanse, condition, clay, styling. What are products? Because often, the way I often see professionals talk about the max hydration method seems like it's the internet, it's unprofessional, but they kind of wanted to do this better. And I mean, everything is written down, all the steps, how you apply those products onto your hair. So to me, at that time, this sounded really refreshing and very professional to me, even though they didn't learn anything in hair schools, right? Let's look at the max hydration method recommended product list. Yeah, they do also have a recommended list, right? Let's dig into it. It was posted in August 16, 2014. Soon this will be 10 years by Pinky Cube. Unfortunately, we don't know who this Pinky Cube woman, lady girl is. I think I haven't seen her public photos besides her hair pictures, and she's not to be found anywhere, which is kind of unfortunate, because I would have had many questions to ask her, and if she still does this kind of method or a modified version using shampoos, who knows. But we cannot ask her actually, though her website is there. What does the title say? MHM recommended product list. Below is the list of no ingredients that we avoid in this regimen and a brief explanation of each. Then she will list down a lot. A second ingredient to avoid, they say hydrolyzed wheat protein and peptides. Bad for low porosity hair and most kinkier type 4 hair. I don't think so when I do my clay masks. Actually, if it's not a clarifying mask, I put in hydrolyzed proteins. And it also doesn't make sense because you do this cherry Lola caramel treatment and you want to put there bananas, eggs, avocados. Hydrolyzed proteins and peptides and amino acids work better actually. So I make sure whenever I use a shampoo, conditioner, styling products, I want those proteins, because proteins are not just bad. Some of them are also humectants actually, and they attract and bind water. So it's something you want to have inside your hair. And again, if you think you have low porosity hair, yes, you could have low porosity hair, but what they, or Pinky Cube and Miss DK and many of them were describing was just hair that had a lot of buildup. This is what people are experiencing today with the famous 30-day detox. People having severe build-up issues that the hair strands are not getting wet to its maximum potential and so on. Styling products, they just aren't working because you are not getting your hair past the cleansing step. You cleanse and shampoo your hair, but it's not enough. You need more to get rid of those layers of buildup actually. So you do a pre-step. It's called the Cherry Lola Caramel Treatment. It's basically a mixture of original Cherry Lola treatment and some sort of caramel treatment. Basically do-it-yourself protein conditioning mask tutorials that were put on social media or natural hair boards and YouTube, and it became popular. Do I love this? Would I suggest, advise this kind of pre-step treatment? Looking back, I think I tried it out with what I have on hand, because in 2015 it wasn't easy to just go to Amazon and look what you can order internationally and it will come to Germany. It wasn't the same we see today. Ordering things now is very, very easy, but so I had to substitute a lot. I think you have to put like Greek yogurt, avocado, silk amino acids that I think are made to be eaten, but you have to use plantain or bananas, eggs, so a bunch of things together to give you a real protein, do-it-yourself food treatment. Now, is it necessary as a pre-step? I highly doubt this, because if you think about it, you need cleansed hair, right? You need clarified hair. Why putting, something on your hair strands when it's not cleansed yet, right? I mean, you want a very clean surface before things can actually work inside the hair. And I'm not going to talk about how large all these, food proteins are. Do they really enter the hair shaft? Does it cover the hair strands, so the outer parts of your hair? Yes, I'm pretty sure. Now, what I forgot to say about the Cherry Lola caramel treatment, you actually put in baking soda. And what the creator believes is that it is able to open up the cuticles, so this concoction you just did now leaves your cuticles wide open while all the protein and the silk and the amino acids are going inside doing all its work. It's now open, and then comes the clarifying step, I think. But yeah, reading these up, some of these things, I don't know. To me, they just don't make sense. Okay. This is why you have to go to the direct source and not just read things up in blogs. When you do this pre-step treatment thing, you have to skip the clarifying step. The day you start this method and you do this Cherry Lola caramel treatment, since it contains baking soda, you have to skip the clarifying step and directly start with the conditioning step, and then the clay step, and then the styling step. Alright, so this is why it's called the kind of pre-step. It says the treatment will not change the texture or break bonds in the hair. The changes are in tie with the natural behavior of the cuticle, opening and closing. So just like rinsing your hair with hot warm water does not change the texture, neither will this. When the cuticles open, it's temporarily. When you take advantage by deep conditioning afterward, because now your cuticles are open to absorbing the moisture into the cortex. This retained moisture, aka better curl definition, definition, not looser curls. Over curls may clump into bigger sections due to added weight and also depending on your hair length. Now, after completing this, I think you can do this every 2 weeks. Yes, you can do this every 2 weeks, every few months. It's up to you. Now comes the actual step. Daily regimen, they call it. It's very like the Curly Girl Handbook. It says daily regimen, or as the definition goes away, and your hair needs a new hair wash, right? So this is what you do every hair wash day. You clarify your hair. This is the first step. And I'm actually reading this from naturallycurly.com. I'm not sure if you remember this blog, but yeah, this is where I got all the trends going on first on hand before, Instagram and things like that became popular. What you need, you could use baking soda with conditioner, or you do some sort of ACV rinse, apple cider vinegar rinse. Now looking back, does it make sense? No, because you can simply use a shampoo, right? Or a stronger version of a co-wash, right? Because we know a co-wash is not just a co-wash, they're actually co-wash cleansers formulated with cleansing surfactants, and some of them do the job really, really good, right? Yes, if you know, but not many know, the max hydration method is really just a modified version of a curly girl method for tight curly hair, 4C hair, the hair that can never clump, or this is what people used to say, right? And people are still saying. As we all know, the curly girl method is so popular because the hairstylist and creator Luann Messi used to say any sort of shampoo or kind of surfactant is bad for your hair, so use botanical conditioners to cleanse your hair. It will do the job really, really good with the help of water. But she also said in her book that you could use sulfate-free shampoos. But I think maybe they didn't read the book, maybe it got lost, I don't know. I would have wished, doing this method for the first time just to see, use any kind of cleanser, or maybe use any kind of sulfate-free cleanser. And if you choose to use your ACV or baking soda, if it works for you, okay, here you go. But it wasn't the case. So this is how I started out, because I wanted to try out, right? But baking soda has a very, very high pH, right? It will open these cuticles. Lots of water will enter. You will be able to cleanse your hair. But baking soda is also a strong and potent agent to cleanse kitchen stuff and everything else. So do you want to regularly put this inside your hair? If you have no idea about how pH works and what opens and closes the cuticles, you might be running into damage over time. Same as ACV. Apple cider vinegar, is a vinegar. Baking soda has a very high pH. It's in the basic range, and apple cider vinegar is on the opposite side actually. It has a very, very low pH. Even if you just use a few drops of ACV inside vinegar, your solution will be acidic. So often I don't get why people would use, half and half solutions, or 1/3 apple cider vinegar and 2/3 of water. It's still very, very acidic. And if you know the pH of your hair, you're going past this pH of your hair, which is somewhere 3.8 to 4. You are kind of doing the most. And yes, will it clarify your hair? Is it good in removing buildup, for example, minerals, lime buildup? Yes. Apple cider vinegar, it's a vinegar. It can remove those, minerals from your hair. This is why it's also formulated into a lot of kitchen cleaning stuff or bathroom stuff, because it is able to remove limestone buildup, right? Yes, but does it cleanse oily residues? I doubt. Would have been great to just use some sort of sulfate-free shampoos if you're against using sulfate shampoos. And this is what I do. This is why you often see me using shampoos. But again, I said I shampoo my hair. But if you look at many naturals who do their own hair, and I don't know what we see on the screen, it doesn't really look damaged. Many do those ACV rinses actually, right? Many do those ACV rinses. If you look at many YouTube channels. What is the second step actually? And you notice there's no pre-poo here, right? So you have a clarified, cleansing, some sort of step. Then you have a co-wash and detangle step. What do you use? You don't just use any kind of conditioner. You actually use a botanical conditioner. So a plant-based conditioner, 3 options actually. Basically condition your hair. Option 1, apply conditioner to your hair in sections and deep condition overnight by covering your hair in a shower cap or thermal heating cap. And then she talks about how much conditioner you need to dilute with water. Again, this is made for low porosity hair, so it's believed that the lighter the conditioner, the better it will absorb into the hair actually. But yeah, the question is, will it do something if it's not meant to be a deep if it's not formulated to be a deep conditioner? Is it necessary? I doubt this. You can simply use rinse out conditioners that are meant to left inside your hair for, I think, 1 to 5 minutes depending on the brand and formulation. You could simply use a deep conditioner, right? Instead of deep conditioning with something that is not meant to be deep to use as a deep conditioner, you could just simply buy a deep conditioner, deep condition as instructions. Say, I don't know, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 1 hour with heat, depending on the brand. What does the brand say in the instructions, right? So this could eliminate lots of hours and days, right? And this is what I do. I, mostly use rinse out conditioners, but also deep condition, and that's it. Doesn't take me 5 hours or 2 days to just do the cleansing and conditioning step, right? Option 2, apply conditioner, put on a shower cap and steam. Steam for 15 to 20 minutes under a steamer, hooded dryer and rinse it out. This will function as your co-wash. Use conditioner again and dilute it with water in an applicator bottle. So we see, if you leave the deep conditioning overnight, look at the way many naturals care for their hair when they deep condition or when they simply condition their hair. Many use steam applicators, or they will use the warm steam in the bathroom. Many use shower caps and many use hooded dryers, additional heat, or those heating towels to really get the conditioner marinated inside their hair. Option 3, apply warm conditioner in your hair in sections. Let it sit for 10 to 15 minutes under shower cap and rinse it out. This will function as your co-wash. You are doing the step blah blah, dilute the conditioner with water. We know this. Then, finger detangle. No matter what option above you choose, you finger detangle before and or during your co-wash under the warm shower. Section your hair before going in the shower clips. Focus on removing shed hairs, smoothing, breaking and separating tangles each section from the roots of your hair to the tip. If you know me, I don't really enjoy finger detangling. I do a pre-poo, slippery products, detangle my hair in sections with detangling brushes. Of course, I finger detangle first, but I mainly use brushes because it goes faster, and I know how to handle brushes with my hair, and this is what is working for me. So by the time I've cleansed my hair and I'm doing the conditioning step, I just use my fingers, not mainly to finger detangle my hair in order to remove things out of my hair, but in order to smooth the product in and to feel and see what is going on inside my hair and scalp. And by scalp, I mean not rubbing in conditioner, but I mean if I, for example, feel some curl clumping going on. Sometimes you can feel it, it feels really weird because of how small these coils are. It kind of, I don't know, I want to say worms or things, maybe noodles, yes. Then comes actually the third step, the last step before the styling, which is the clay step. So this is what made the max hydration method really, really popular, because by the time you actually clarified your hair, conditioned your hair, you didn't see much going on, but maybe your hair was, much more clean than ever. But as the moment you put this clay inside your hair, all molecular reactions going on in your hair, especially when you put in apple cider vinegar again, and it was really able to react with the clay particles to remove more buildup, actually, not just lime buildup, and to get your hair clumped and curling and coiling up. This is what made you excited, because many of us have never seen this happening, right? With wet hair, that suddenly see all these clumped coils from roots to ends, and they're kind of hanging down in a wavy way. Once you rinse it out, it will coil back up. If you own this kind of hair texture, if you know, you know. I don't want to often mention 4C hair, but just to relate with you that you know what texture I'm talking about. It's the classic 4C, my hair can never hair. What is the purpose? So the creators believed, we with the tightest curly hair, 4C hair, we have low porosity hair, and since we have low porosity hair, we are not able to get in that moisture while we are cleansing our hair and conditioning our hair to the max potential. So only just a bit of the good conditioning agents and the moisture is actually going inside, but it's not enough to reach the max potential of your hair to keep it hydrated to the max and healthy. So they thought, okay, we basically have low porosity hair, so we need things to open those cuticles very, very wide so that they don't stick very narrow together, so all the goodness can go inside. Once we are done, it is closed again and sealed down. Basically, as we all now know and have found out throughout the years, we had a lot of buildup going on. So now the frequent hair washes and repeating these steps, every 2 to 3 days resulted in us seeing more, but with time our hair is clumping more, is showing more definition without styling product. This is what it is, and it sounds very, very familiar to professional hairstylist methods these days. This is why many in the natural hair community, the old school people, they used to think it's just a revival. So kind of a 30-day detox is kind of a revival of the max hydration method, because it sounds very familiar. But if you haven't been on these natural hair streets and you don't know what's going on, of course it will sound like something new to you. But if you're able to put things together and to compare, wow, this is really similar to this, you will kind of think, well, isn't this in the end the same? But it's not. Let's dig further into this infamous clay rinse. This is, I think, where many have also done too much to the hair because they didn't basically understand how clay works and the different clay powders with the different pH levels out there. So what does it say? With all options, leave the rinse on the hair for at least 15 minutes before rinsing, and remember to even distribute in sections from the tips to the roots and get it on your scalp as well. When applying clay mixture, try to separate your coils. Don't try to make it into one big slab of hair. See video for what my hair looks like with clay. The videos are no longer there. Blah 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 blah. I go out of my way to separate some of the coils there. I always apply the mask in thin layers of hair starting at the nape, from the scalp and roots to the ends of my hair. Let sit in here for at least 15 minutes. There's nothing wrong with leaving it much longer either. Rinse out the clay. This is the part of the method where you will be checking signs of max hydration. Your hair is now going to be completely clean of any leftover product residue, and you will be able to check your progress in your product-free hair. You remember I always tell you about to check your product-free hair regularly. What does it do when you don't slap on all these gels inside your hair to create stretched hair, to create wavy hair? Because you know my hair likes to shrink up to 80, maybe to even 90% or 100%. And you know, when I do this wash and go sets, depending on what kind of products I use, it will look wavy, it will stretch out more, it will hang down more, it will clump better or less, it will have more volume or less. But you need to love your product-free hair. You need to check what is going on when I don't put all these products inside my hair. What's the condition of my hair? Does it actually clump on its own? Maybe from roots to tips? You have to know this. You cannot stick to methods. So this is what you should check with any kind of regimen you're doing. From time to time, check your product-free hair after the cleansing and conditioning step. Sometimes even let it air dry and observe what is going on, right? Coils will be felt at the scalp first while washing your hair. For myself, the moment I'm rinsing the clay out of my hair, or the moment I shampoo and rinse these surfactants out of my hair, I mostly feel those coils she is mentioning. And she's not a professional, right? So yeah, but she's mentioning things I can totally relate, and this is why I love this method. I can mostly feel them in the back, this noodle thing, this scary noodle thing I was telling you, in the back, and here, this part. And often you say, no, I don't have hair. I think postpartum shedding is long gone, but look at this. These here are very short hair strands, but they are coiled together. Especially when you wash your hair, you can feel them. And these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hair strands that I don't know if they always will stay short or if they maybe one day make it long, but yeah. This is what you want to feel throughout your hair and scalp. You will then start to clump and curling at the very tips of the hair and slowly progress up to the root, which is when you can claim max hydration. What is she talking about? She's saying often you can feel those clumps at the roots, but not all hair strands are doing this. Most of them just stay, frizzy, wavy, coily. But oftentimes you also see them at the tips. You see those spirals going on. The rest is kind of frizzing up. it's expanding and not, compact together, but it's slowly working its way up, and one day you will have a complete clumped section of many hair strands that will perfectly do those ringlets, ideally not damaged. When it's product-free hair, it will of course shrunk together, but when you pull it out, it will do this kind of helix, spirally thing. Other visible signs include shakeable hair even when hair is completely dry after having completed all the steps. This is the added weight of moisture retention. If you're doing this regimen and transitioning, just check your new growth for signs. And yes, have you tried this? After the hair wash, you shake your hair and your hair strands weren't just stuck like cotton candy stuck, but you can shake them around after the hair wash. You should try it out because yes, I'm not reading this for the first time. It's been years, but I always come back to read again. And it's for free. I don't have to pay any kind of money. By the way, yes, my hair can do this. Now we have completed the hair wash. You've rinsed the clay really good out of your hair. Now you want to close things again. And what do you use? What do you do? You follow up with a leave-in conditioner, a botanical leave-in conditioner. Yes, not just gel, a botanical leave-in conditioner, which happened to be the kinky curly not today detangler or leave-in detangler. Because why? It didn't contain oils, right? I think the ingredient list says, botanical extracts, and then you have BTMS, which is an emulsifying ingredient. This is what keeps oils and water together, but it's also a cationic ingredient. It will stick to your hair, it will coat your hair, it will condition your hair, it will give you this slip and velvety feeling. This is what a leave-in should do. And yes, the creators of the maximum hydration method, they or she wasn't blind, so she knew, some leave-in conditioners work better for me. They give me more definition. Some conditioner just leave my hair, too greasy. It doesn't really soak up in. She even gave advice if your leave-in conditioner is just sitting on your hair and doesn't really soak in after the hair cleanse, dilute it with water. So dilute the formulation so that it soaks in better. Curly hair specialists saying leave-in conditioners are unnecessary. They don't provide any hold. Why would you use that? Use directly your gels, your botanical gels favorably. But yes, or you can hear the max hydration method is about using leave-in conditioner first and then your botanical gel. Leave-in conditioner, let me read this out for you. This will be 4 to 7 squirts of conditioner and 6 to 8 ounces of water into an applicator bottle. So she says, if you own low porosity hair, dilute your leave-in conditioner. And you have to think about it at that time. So the products available now in the market is not the same as the products available 8 years ago, 10 years ago, 2 decades ago. It's not the same. So we have new generations of products that work also on our hair, even if it's not really tested on our hair. But yeah, some years ago it wasn't the same. Apply thoroughly in the section by smoothing, pinching and raking. Apply enough so your hair feels wet. So your hair feels soaking wet. You want to concentrate it at the root first and work it in. So from the roots to the kind of ends. Work it in, smoothing, pinch maybe and rake your hair like this. Then bring it down the rest of the hair shaft. The wetter and more slippery your hair feels, the softer your gel will dry, so keep that in mind. Do not apply leave-in all over your head first and then do the next step. Step 4 and 5 must be completed section by section as you go along. So step 4 is the leave-in conditioner, step 5 is the botanical gel of your choice. Why is she saying this? Because the reason most of us tight curly hairs aren't getting enough definition and will say, oh, my hair cannot clump, is that we don't use enough of the products actually. But if you start to work in section and you take your time and necessarily the product you need to get this feeling, this is how you know you have enough inside your hair. And when you look into the mirror and see what your hair is doing, you will find out that, wow, I cannot just use, a corn size, a pea size of amount of product inside my entire hair and that's it. No, this is not how it works. I work in section, applied section by section, and then I will see the magic going on. Then came the last step. It's the botanical gel, and I believe from the very deepest brain cells of my head that botanical gels came popular with the max hydration method. I looked up so many internet hair forums, threads, and videos, blogs. Botanical gels come one in one hand with the max hydration method. Even the Curly Girl handbook doesn't mention botanical gels. It just mentions gels. It lists several ingredients that you should likely just, skip out when you want to buy conditioners. But it didn't say, plant-based, humectant-rich gels. No, it's something that came popular with the max hydration method. And there's a technique to it. I read it, I tried it out, and it works. What is it basically? You apply gel, so botanical gel, which happened to be the kinky curly curling custard at that time, but also many botanical gels were mentioned, especially also Uncle Funky Daughter gel of today. At that time it had a different name. I just want to say it because everybody is mentioning for a few years, Uncle Funky Daughter Curly Magic, 30-day hair detox botanical gels, but if you know it's not really something new, and people who were doing the max hydration method, who had access to this kind of gel, they also used it. What's the method of styling and getting the best result? It's what I am showing you here. You start on cleansed, conditioned hair. It is already detangled. Then you smooth the gel inside your hair in sections. You want this slippery feeling, this jellyfish feeling. You want this seaweed feeling. What I really hate is there used to be a 300-page of people, sharing their journey, the good and the bad, and what made their hair dry or damaged, into a hair forum called Natural Black Hair Forum. And the creator also posted, everything inside. I was sensing, so my alarm clocks were going on, and I thought, okay, who knows, maybe this page will soon vanish because this is sounding like a max hydration method. So maybe this page will go. Let me save at least a bit before maybe it vanishes. And it vanished. This site is no longer available. I did my screenshots because I didn't know maybe all these blogs out there will also vanish one day. Even L'Oreal made a blog post about a maximum hydration method, so it's there. You cannot delete this kind of popular wash and go method and just delete it out of history of a natural hair community. You can. Wow, even Cosmo Cosmopolitan has some articles about the max hydration method. Alright, my batteries died, but yes, if you prepare yourself, you will just take the next batteries, switch them up, and not cry over waiting. Alright, now comes the last step. Botanical gel of your choice. You listen, it doesn't say high quality botanical gel. You have to use only this botanical gel, and if you use something else, your hair will, I don't know. So you actually have two options. Option one, application of gel. You should be putting enough so your hair feels slippery along the shaft. I always tell you, even some used to make fun of me because I wasn't raking my hair when popular methods came along. And I was like, you can rake your hair all day, but I just do what I know what is working for my hair, and this is the smoothing only. If I rake my hands through my hair, it's because I want to maybe separate things, and I'm using my hands kind of like a white tooth comb to rake my hair, to separate maybe tangled hair strands at the ends or something, or in the middle. But I mainly smooth my hair, smooth until I see my hair strands are clumping on their own, and I'm not doing anything. I'm just separating them, or I rake it through. This is how I came along. So you should be putting enough so your hair feels slippery along the shaft. That way you know it's evenly and thoroughly distributed on the hair, and it's properly sealing in the moisture before the gel cast forms. You apply leave-in and everything is wet. Water is a carrier. It is keeping your hair in place. Once the water evaporates, the conditioning agents, they stay to inside your hair depending on what kind of leave-in you use. If you use leave-in conditioners formulated with cationic agents like BTMS, it will stick to your hair. Even if you condition your hair and you find this ingredient, it's great because while you're rinsing your hair, it sticks to the hair actually. Now you do the drying process. It forms a cast, a protective barrier on your hair strands, and everything should be fine. Ideally, apply the gel concentrating at the roots of the hair first, working it in. So what does this mean? It means what I'm doing at the screen. I make this motion. I use the gel here, I put it here, bam, I smooth it down, and then I make this motion. Then bring the products from the roots of your hair to the tips, making sure to smooth and truly rake with your fingers. Otherwise, your hair may clump into sections that are too big and frizz. So what does this mean? Smooth. Use your fingers to rake through, smooth again. If you don't do this step, you just apply the gel like this, smooth like this, and that's it. It will dry in chunks of frizzy goodness, but we don't own loose curly hair. We have tight coils. Some of them, many of them are needle size. So if you just smooth it in and leave it like this, it will dry exactly the way it's looking like. It will dry into a curly fro, which is also very beautiful. You have this volume going on with a little definition. It's looking wavy and curly, which is great. But if you want section per section, tiny clumps going on, you need to smooth your hair more to evenly distribute the leave-in conditioner and gel to your entire hair strands. Option 2. Use a small amount of oil or however much you feel you need for extra sealing before or after gel if you find you need it for soft hold. It isn't entirely necessary because you can control the softness of your gel cast by the amount of conditioner you apply in your leave-in step. Here we go. Can you see? It sounds a bit like the log method, but here the creator is using the oil to dilute the strength of conditioner. And now you see, you can either put in a bit of oil if your botanical gels contain less oils or no oils to create soft hair, something people are made fun of, you know, when they add a bit of oil inside their wash and goes, or you just use a more rich formulated leave-in conditioner, or you don't dilute your leave-in conditioner, and then you will get the same soft results. It really depends, and you can tweak it to whatever you like. Isn't this great? Now, layering options can be LCO, liquid cream oil, but never do the LOC layering order. Oils is not a moisturizer, it's a sealant. You wouldn't put gel on before conditioner, so don't practice that with oil. Can you see? You wouldn't put gel on before conditioner, but some of us do, and some of us don't put any kind of leave-in conditioner, gels and mousses and curling custard and puddings. But here I think you have to make a difference between the formulations of the gels you're using. If you use botanical or simply plant-based gels made with lots of oils and butters, you don't need more oil steps. Maybe you don't even need a leave-in cream because everything is already inside this gel or custard or pudding or something, but it really all depends. So this is it. Now what is the very last step? You air dry. This is one of the biggest downfalls of this method, along the ACV or baking soda clarifying step. Our hair again is not the same as loose curly hair. All these methods, they require soaking wet hair or some sort of damp hair. And now you put watery ingredients with hold inside your hair. The way these gels work, they dry very slowly and form a cast to freeze your coils and curls and waves in place. This takes a long amount to dry. It depends on your environment. If you're living in hot and humid or cold and humid places, your hair will take forever to dry. So you need heat to dry your hair. Be it with a blow dryer, be it with a blow dryer and a diffuser attachment, be it with a hooded dryer. If you live in a hot and dry climate or cold and dry but sunny climate, your hair will of course dry faster and in no time, and maybe it won't even require the use of infamous indirect heat, they say. You know, the heat that circulates somewhere here but not directly on your strands to mold it into something, to stretch it out or to keep it straight. It's the heat that will set your hair the way it is now in place, or that will set your hair curly. While I was doing this method, and yes, I started, so you have to complete kind of 7 days to fully reap the benefits and see results. It means that you have to do this entire step. So once you do the Cherry Lola pre-step treatment, you have to always complete the step 1 to 5. So you clarify your hair, to the botanical gel styling and drying. If you only wash your hair once a week, it means actually that you need 7 weeks to completely to reap the benefits out of the method. If you wash your hair every 2 to 3 days, why am I always repeating this every 2 to 3 days? Because this is actually what is mentioned in the Curly Girl Handbook. How often you repeat this process. And again, if you make a jump, a turn around and compare to a 30-day hair detox, 30 days, it doesn't say every day you do this for 30 days. It says at least, I think it says, at least once a week. This means 4 times you did the same routine. Kind of sounds familiar. And if you know that certain hairstylists have been around for quite some time and have been on these internet streets, so they all know what we're talking about, how the clay gives definition. Even if they say there's nothing that will give you definition than, shampooing and clarifying your hair. But yeah, if you know how clay works, you know that it is able to pull dirt off those hair strands, and this is why you see the clumping going on. But yeah, let's don't dig into this discussion. Why do I mention so often this my maximum hydration method? When I started posting lots of reels on Instagram, people couldn't really understand why I'm able to, basically with lots of styling products, I'm getting almost the same definition, it's almost the same styling steps, and my hair comes out the way it comes out. And some were confusing me with Black Girls Curls method. It was just, months, years of doing the same things, which came from the internet, which I read through, tried it out step by step, and this is where I am today. I may not have grown long hair since my second big chop in 2015. I mean, today we have 2023. These are 8 years, right? But I know how to style my hair, and I know, of course, how to cut my hair, and it's not just always about length. Keep it healthy, right? What I've learned from this maximum hydration method and from all these wash and go defining methods and discussions going on, deep conditioner, leave-in conditioner, so and so, clarifying shampoos, chelating shampoos and everything else. Use heat, and you don't need to use this and that. Just tweak the methods to your own likings. If a curly girl method creator said skip those shampoos, but you can use sulfate-free cleansers, it means what it means. You can use Botanical. You can use Botanical conditioners to cleanse your hair, but you can also use sulfate-free shampoos, right? Sulfate-free cleansers, alternatives, clay. I don't know, but don't be too narrow-minded. Just take what you can out of these regimens and methods and tweak it to your own, but don't just skip things because people say they went to certain schools about hair care, but we all know this kind of black hair, botanical gels, are they in those schools of hair? Do they talk about botanical gels to set tight curly hair? I don't think so. So tweak those things to yourself. So that's basically it.